Hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars have been saved because of an annual report identifying different federal programs that do the same thing. Since 2011, eliminating the waste from duplication saved taxpayers $670 billion, and it's all outlined in a new oversight investigation and published by watchdog organization OpenTheBooks.com. Good morning to you. CEO and founder Adam Andrzejewski joining us now with something a little more encouraging when it comes to opening the books of the federal government. First, this would not have been possible without the push of U.S. Senator Tom Coburn, whose legacy certainly lives on through this legislation. So tell us the story behind it, Adam.
Yeah, nothing rankles taxpayers more than paying twice for the same service. And the legendary U.S. Senator from Oklahoma, Dr. Tom Coburn, he recognized this, and on a bipartisan basis, on a debt ceiling fight all the way back in 2010, that's 15 years ago, he got an amendment passed, signed by then President Barack Obama, and it basically went after Duplication Nation. All those federal programs, the myriad and web of them, where taxpayers paid twice. It charges the Government Accountability Organization, the GAO, they're the government watchdog, with identifying the duplicative programs. They've identified over 2,000 over the course of the last 15 years. 1,400 of them have been eliminated, saving taxpayers nearly $700 billion.
Wow, that's impressive. So in the beginning, though, as we know, there was a big push to try and repeal it. So what happened?
Yeah, well, in the first year, right out of the blocks, the big spenders and the agencies and the appropriators in the Senate, Tom Coburn's Senate, as a matter of fact, they were embarrassed. They liked the power. They don't like limits, and they pushed to try to eliminate this Coburn rule. And Coburn, with a group of senators, pushed back, and they actually were successful pushing back. Now, I've been told that it comes up every couple of years where U.S. senators, members of Congress, they try to make this not an annual report, which has been so effective, but to extend out the number of years on this. So this is, we have to be constantly vigilant to make sure that this rule stays in place.
Yeah, so tell us where we're seeing a repeat in programs and goals from federal agencies and where those cuts are actually happening.
Yeah, so out of the $670 billion of taxpayer savings, I mean, that's extraordinary. That's nearly, not quite, but nearly the budget for the Pentagon every single year. You have the Department of Defense. They've been the number one, where about $200 billion worth of savings has occurred. You also have places like Health and Human Services and the general government programs and operations. If you add up defense, HHS, and general government program savings, it's $500 billion out of the $670 billion. And here's an example, Jan. Like it used to be, if you were a tax cheat, your passport wasn't revoked. They fixed that. That brought in about $8 billion into the U.S. Treasury.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg, because there's still plenty of areas that have not been cut that need to be. So what are those? And why isn't there some type of action on those programs?
Yeah, so here's one area that hasn't been fixed. If you declare zero income with the Department of Education and are not paying or put yourself on a very advantageous student loan repayment program, your admission of zero income isn't checked right now. That needs to be fixed. That can save billions of dollars. You've also got other recommendations, like, for instance, you can collect disability insurance while you're collecting unemployment insurance. That needs to be fixed. All these things save taxpayers billions.
And we still don't know truly how many federal programs are out there. That's how big government has gotten. That's also another scary part of it. CEO and founder of OpenTheBooks.com, Adam Andrzejewski. Always a pleasure to see you, sir. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Jan.